What up, y'all? I am Trillionaire Trip. I am the CEO and the founder of Trillionaires Only, a clothing brand that is made to inspire and motivate others to be their truest and authentic versions of themselves while chasing their biggest dreams or fighting their toughest battle.
Hey, so we'll start with a quick question. Where did it all begin?
So it all began, I started here in Clarksville, Tennessee. This is all I know. This is all I've ever known. From here, from the north side, Preacher's Mill. I went to Kenwood High, class of 2008. And from there, I tried to do college, and then I ended up going to the Air Force. And then I've been in the Air Force ever since, traveling the world, taking care of my family, growing, all types of things like that.
What were your best memories during school and then going into the military?
My best memories during school. Whew. My best memories during school was no responsibility. All I had to do was go to school, and that was it. Go to school, do my homework, and pay attention in class. I didn't do any of that, by the way. But knowing what I know now, like, of course, if I could do it all over again, I would. I had a great time with my friends, just hanging around, growing through life.
What was the best memories traveling around the world?
Best memories traveling around the world. I would have to say the people. I'm a big believer in your energy and who you have around you, your circle of people can make or break any experience. So I've been blessed enough to have people around me at all times that enjoy life the same way I do. So some of the trips that we've taken have been to Mexico. I just came off a cruise last week with a bunch of my friends and comrades, taking free trips to Vegas and stuff like that through my job.
Let's get right into it. How did you find out about the cancer? What were your first reactions, first thoughts?
Man, that's a hell of a question. So how I found out about the cancer, and before I even give y'all an answer, just please hold the tears, like we're good. How I found out about the cancer, I initially had COVID in 2020, and just fighting through COVID, trying to get through that. It took me an extended amount of time to get through it, to heal. And while they're trying to figure out why I wasn't healing from COVID, they took an x-ray of my lungs, and they saw that there was a spot on my lungs. So then they were like, oh, that's probably due to COVID. We're not gonna worry about it. I get past COVID a year later, I'm sick the whole time. I'm having all the symptoms. I'm having body fatigue. I can't breathe. It's hard to talk some days. I'm sluggish. It was literally hell. So then I went back to the doctor. I said, hey, something's not right. I'm still not healing. And they decided to take another x-ray, and they saw that the spot was getting bigger. So at that point, everybody was pretty much heads on fire. Like, let's figure out what this spot is, because we don't know what's going on. This isn't usual for somebody your age. So the game plan was initially to go in, do a biopsy, to get a piece of the spot that was on my lungs to make sure it wasn't cancerous. And turns out when they went in there to get the spot, they found cancer. So the biopsy turned into a whole wedge resection, which means they took a piece of my lung. I was in surgery for like 5 hours when I should have been in there for like an hour. So with that, I had kidney damage. I almost experienced kidney failure. Like, that was rough to go through, and just to see it all go like that, I went from being perfectly fine one moment and thinking I'm gonna be at work just after the surgery the next week to being out a whole month and being in the hospital for 2 weeks. I've never been hospitalized for anything. Just some of the initial reactions, it was shock, because we would get told that cancer is for older people. Like, when you think of cancer, you think of old, brittle people who losing their hair and just don't make it through cancer. So I didn't believe it. And initially they misstaged me. They staged me as stage 3. But then when they did a full PET scan, because they found that I still wasn't healing, they found cancer in my liver too. That's what made it stage 4.
Have you ever met anybody with cancer? And if so, how did it really go?
Before this, I've met people with cancer, but again, like, you don't really take into account what this person's dealing with, because you just hear cancer, like, oh dang, I hope it's well for you, and you kind of going about your day. But going through this now, my appreciation for the cancer and just awareness of it has been totally different.
Honest with the listeners. Were you scared when you found out?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Laying in a hospital bed being told you have cancer, and stage 4 lung cancer is the most lethal cancer that there is in the United States. So I was scared as hell.
If you mind, can you dig a little bit deeper?
So for those of y'all that don't know, I'm married. I have a family. I got kids. Like, the thought of going into a hospital telling them, hey, I'm just about to get this surgery, I'll be back next week, and having to call them and let them know that, hey, I'm not coming home, and hey, this is what I got going on, and not knowing, you're trying to speak positively, but in the back of your mind, it's still back there like, hey, dude, you're dying. You're dying. And having to deal with that and seeing everybody else hear the news and breaking the news to them too, you're constantly repeating the same story over and over again. So it was tough.
What was your family's reaction, good and bad?
My family's reaction, good and bad, everybody prayed. Like I come from a family of prayer warriors. They heard I had the cancer, they immediately sprung into it. They were being positive, they were uplifting, they were, hey, you're gonna make it through this. And then there were some people who didn't take it too well. There were some people who decided to kind of distance themselves from me because they felt like I was dying.
Did your faith grow stronger with God when you found out you had cancer?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Truth be told, I feel like this whole experience was God telling me to walk in my purpose and to cut the bullshit. I used to do a lot of things that weren't becoming of me and a lot of things that I shouldn't have done, and I got by the grace of God, but I feel like at this stage of my life, God had to sit me down, and that was his way of sitting me down, saying, hey, this is what you got going on. Life is this precious, and you've been living like it's not.
When you found out you had cancer and went through the stages, did you feel like you went through why me?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So just to give y'all a little bit backstory about the cancer, a part of this cancer came from exposure, like burn pit exposure. That's multiple deployments to Iraq, Afghanistan, Africa, Dubai, all that stuff, and they're burning stuff. And I wasn't the only one that was deployed, that was breathing in all that air. So there was many nights where I laid in the hospital bed, tears in my eyes, crying like, why me? What did I do? What did I do to deserve this cancer? Like, how did I get here? Why me? And for the longest, only thing I could do was accept that God is in control. I no longer have the realm. I have to follow God. And through his guidance and listening to him and following my gut, my life has turned around completely. This message is going global. I think with me being diagnosed with cancer, it caused me to start my own brand, Trillionaires Only. And Trillionaires Only was specifically designed because I was laying in the hospital bed, not knowing what my next move was. And I was thinking about my legacy. And when I thought about it, I felt like I didn't have anything to leave behind to my kids. I didn't know how people were going to speak of me. And I didn't want to leave on a bad note. So Trillionaires Only was designed and created while I was laying in the hospital bed to inspire and motivate others to be the truest and authentic version of themselves while chasing their biggest dreams or fighting their biggest battles. And that message applies to people fighting cancer. That message applies to people going through a divorce. That message applies to people going through marriage problems. Anything. Only the Trill. Because only the Trill can do what we can do and still walk our path and still fight our battles and still be us.
How was the road to recovery?
So the road to recovery is going to be a thing for the rest of my life. With cancer, sometimes you can beat it, sometimes you can live with it, and sometimes it can kill you. I'm fortunate enough to have the strength and have the people behind me to push me spiritually to keep this fight going, to where if this is something that I can live with the rest of my life, cool, and if I beat it, even better. But bottom line, I want to be alive to tell my story. So with the therapy going forward, it's a lot of chemo. So right now I just take a pill a couple times a day, and the side effects are pretty brutal. But, I'd rather do that and deal with the side effects than to not take the medicine and be worse off.
Who was your biggest supporter through the road to recovery?
The biggest supporter on the road to recovery, that's easy. It have to be my girl, my wife, my baby. She was there, and she was there during a time where there was a lot of conflicting things going on with me spiritually, and just with my actions, period. I had a lot of growing up to do, even through this cancer fight. And for her to sit there and support me through that and love me through that, like, I'm good. Like, that's my buddy. That's my bestie for the restie. Hey, boo.
As of today, do you feel like you're a better man, or is there still things you want to work on?
Both. Both. So with life, like, the way I see it, as long as you're not where you started, that's a blessing. That's progress. I'm nowhere where I used to be, but I still got a long way to go. I'm not perfect. I don't have all the answers. Only thing I can do is be me and be honest and going through this whole thing, it taught me to be honest, to show up in my rarest, truest self. I had no choice but to be my rarest and truest self because I was stripped of everything. I was laying in the hospital bed, literally fighting for my life. And when you're in that position, you don't want to think about all the bad things you've done and all the negative you've done. Like, I want to have positive thoughts. I want to have positive memories. And doing that.
What was your son during this time? How did he feel about it?
So between me and my wife, we are 6 kids. One of them was in school. Actually, they were all in school because this was at the beginning of the school year. But they were all in school, and we pretty much told them, "Hey, I gotta go have this surgery. I'll be back." And that's not what it was at all. They had to see me in the hospital. They had to see me on life support. They had to see me with the tube down my throat. They had to see all of it. And all I could do was be real with them. I didn't want to sugarcoat it because it's life. Things happen.
What would you say to the people who are going the same thing, have the same cancer?
Positivity. Stay positive. You're not the expert. A lot of people aren't experts on cancer. But what you can control is you, your emotions, your thoughts, your feelings. I would say get strong in your faith. Know who you serve, know who you belong to, know who has say at the end of the day. Because if you leave it up to the world, it's not going to be a good outcome. But if you leave it up to God, He's going to take care of everything. You have to be secure in that. You have to know that. And that's one thing that I've had to come to terms with because my whole life I've been used to manipulating situations and doing what I can to get by and doing what was best for me. But here, I was pretty much stripped of everything, and I had to sit down and listen. I had to sit down and focus, and that's what I'm doing.
The times where you wanted to give up, but you kept pushing.
Definitely. Every day I wake up, I take medicine, and the medicine is harsh. It's heavy drugs. I was on fentanyl, heavy, like every day, fentanyl. And they're telling me to just take this medicine because I feel better. And with that, like, it was hard. Because you know that your body's on drugs and you don't even know how you feel. You really can't say how you feel. And we're already dealing with trauma as is. So learning how to communicate when something is wrong and when something is hurting and letting everybody see you as vulnerable to the world, it's hard to wake up some days and just know that this is what I'm faced with. It's hard to go to sleep at night knowing like, damn, my lung can collapse. I can get sick. Somebody could sneeze on me and that could be over with for me. I'm in the emergency room, like hooked up on life support off of a sneeze, and I've seen it happen. Like every time somebody gets sick, like before, like as soon as somebody starts coughing, it's like my sixth sense, I'll start to get sick immediately. And that's hard to go through some days because I want to be normal. There's things that I'll never be able to do again. I'll never be able to play a full game of anything ever again. I'll never be able to run. I'll never be able to go do things that, that could increase my heart rate because I'm anemic now. And just on the mental side of that, it is a cluster because mentally, like again, back to the first question, one of the first questions you asked, why me? Why do I gotta go through this? What did I do to deserve this? Like, and I'm the only one that's going through it. Out of all the people that I was around, I'm the one that got stuck with it. So a lot of times, like they say it's not in you, it's on you, and you gotta want to live. And I decided I want to live, so I didn't have time to pout. I didn't have time to say what I'm not gonna do. I didn't have time to say what's not gonna work. I had to shut up and try it. And trying positivity, trying God, and trying the medicine. We're here now. We're here today.
How hard was it for you to control your emotions, trying to stay strong for the people closest to you?
It was hard. Controlling the emotions, man, it's a thing that you constantly have to work at. It's not something that, okay, I did good today, I'm going to be straight for the next 5 days. It's something you got to be intentional about. I've lived the kind of life where my emotions have gotten me to do some crazy things that wasn't me. And when I looked in the mirror, I had nobody else to blame but me. I was in control the whole time. And being young and just following the wrong people and just operating in pride and ego, it's dangerous because you don't care about nothing else. And it's a short-lived moment. I've lost my cool a lot of times when I shouldn't have. Like I said, I'm human, and controlling my emotions was probably, if I can teach my sons, if I can teach anybody anything else, it would be to check yourself, because it's not always what we think in that moment. Somebody bumping into you doesn't always gotta turn into a World War III gunfight, man. Like, some people are just trying to make their way, and they just as lost and hurt and as confused as we are. So this is a touchy subject for me, because like I've been the teenager that was just running around here buck wild, doing whatever, and just running off of pride and emotion, and just not wanting to be a punk and trying to be something I wasn't, trying to be something that I wasn't designed to be. And I've caused myself a lot of pain. I've caused my mom a lot of pain. The thing that did it for me was seeing my mama cry. I was 17 years old. Me and my homeboys did some stuff we wasn't supposed to do. And again, reacting out of emotion, some dude said something that we didn't agree with, and we bumped heads and shots was fired, and you know, it was a bad situation that didn't have to happen. And once you get into trouble, it's a certain kind of trouble that you'll get into that you'll know that you in it by yourself, and there's nobody can get you out. And seeing my mama cry in jail, like hearing her have to put up her house trying to get me out of jail and doing that stuff all the time, like, that was some of the most embarrassing things in my life. And all for what? Just so some niggas can jump on Facebook and say, hey, he real, or he cool, I rock with him, or just so somebody can listen to my music, or just so somebody can have a cool story to tell. Nah, bro, this ain't it. I decided a long time ago, even now, in my 30s, I have to work on controlling my emotions. Like, again, it's not something that you can work on one time. Go get help, man. Go get therapy. Go talk to somebody about it, because we're all dealing with trauma. That's all it is. Not being able to control your emotions, you're angry about something, you just don't know how to talk about it. So you just, whatever comes out, it comes out. And for some people it's violence, for some people it's mental abuse, for some people it's drugs, for a lot of people it's alcohol. And for a long time, I abused alcohol heavily. And that was embedded in my culture, and I thought that was cool, but it wasn't. Looking back at it, I was slowly killing myself. All because I didn't know how to control my emotions, all because I'm following the crowd, all because I'm trying to be something that's not me. Not controlling your emotions. You don't get to where they go by hanging around people that are not on your level and that don't want to see you doing what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to come back here and build a community of people that's going to support each other, a community of people that's going to get these young boys in line, that's going to give them something to do, that's not going to put some dope in their hand or to have them out here hitting licks, like doing a bunch of stuff that don't matter.
You mentioned reaching the youth.
Yeah.
What are your plans on how to do that?
My plans on reaching the youth. So a lot of black men are incarcerated, and that leaves a lot of misguided youth out here. And I'm at the age now to where if I gotta be Uncle Trip, I'm gonna do that. Like, I'm gonna tell you, hey, youngin, go to school, get a plan together, do this. I wanna see, you know what I'm saying? I wanna see some more greats come from here, because in Clarksville, there's a lot of great people that come from here that we don't even talk about. I want to see another Bryson Burns. I want to see another Ricky Lumpkin. I want to see another Freeman Pinckney. Like, people that don't even get the recognition that they should get, and they've went on and done some pretty dope things. And those are just people that I knew, that I grew up around, that have went on and conquered some pretty dope things. And just watching it, it's like, wow, like, they're no different than us. Like, it's inspiring to see stories like that, but more times than not, we're gonna hear about, you know what I'm saying, the stuff that doesn't matter. Oh, so-and-so getting locked up, or so-and-so in jail, like, send my boy some money, free him, free the guys. Like, I'm tired of yelling free the guys, man. Let's get some money. Let's make some CEOs, let's get some LLCs. Let's teach these young boys how to put a plan together and make some money. And show these young boys how to be professionals. Because there's more than one way to be successful. There's more than one way to get to the top besides being a star wide receiver. Everybody can't be the star point guard, man. Everybody can't go to the league. Somebody's gonna have to be behind the camera shooting, you know what I'm saying, getting all the action shots. Somebody's gonna have to be behind the camera editing the footage that we see on YouTube. Somebody's gonna be somewhere shooting footage on an iPhone, you know what I'm saying, running these $1 million companies. And if we don't give our boys and our youth a shot to do that, we fail.
Did you feel relieved when you found out that you're beating it, or that you beat it? How beat the cancer? Explain that feeling.
It was a good feeling, but it was bittersweet, because I'm competitive. So I don't want to just live with cancer, I want to beat it. And one of the realisms that I may have to come to, and one of the things I just may have to accept, is that I may not beat cancer. I'm just gonna have to live with it. And living with it in itself is a reward, because every day I get a chance to do something different. I get a chance to be better than I was the day before.
What is a message that you would like to leave behind?
A message I want to leave behind: live life. No doesn't always mean no. You think it, you can go get it. And with consistency, anything can happen. But last and not least, trust God. Trust God. At the end of the day, we're going to always do what we got to do, but at the end of the day, we're going to have something in our spirit that's going to be telling us if we're going the right way or the wrong way. Like, a lot of us wait until things have gone completely awry to recognize that God is trying to get our attention. And with God, all things are possible. And I'm a true believer. I have no problem saying that to the world. Like, God is the reason why I'm here. And all glory and thanks goes to God.
Hey, we're going to wrap this up, but I just want to say thank you. I appreciate you coming out here, allowing me to interview you, and showing your message, letting everybody know your story. And being honest with us, being honest with me, to everybody who's listening, all of yours, the whole world. We're going to take over.
Hey, only the trill, man. Shout out to CJ. Before we even cut this interview, man, I gotta highlight CJ. How this happened like last minute. Earlier this week, I decided, you know what, I got some merch I want to give away. I want to go home, and I got good news. The good news is that I am beating cancer. The cancer is no longer in my lungs. They don't even see it in my lungs anymore, and the cancer on my liver is shrinking. And I wanted to get that message out with my people. And I wanted a videographer to record this moment, because that was the news. That was a secret. And a lot of people was like, hey, of course they tagged my boy King Sean Leonidas. They tagged CJ, they tagged Corey Powell. And no disrespect to them at all, but once I found out that CJ was a youngin', I was like, let's give him a shot. And he showed up professionally, he communicated, and keep doing your thing, bro. You're doing a lot of great work. Don't stop. I know you're young, but stay focused, man. Keep your mind on the prize. And he's 16, and staying on that, like, stay on this road, bro. Like, a lot of people are gonna try to deter you from this, and this is your dream, this is your vision. You came prepared. This is what you wanna do. Don't let nobody take that passion from you. Like, this is gonna be your go-to, this is gonna be your thing. You're gonna be going some places, bro. And I'm happy to have you a part of the team.
Thank you, Trip. I appreciate it. All right.
You shoot the video?
Yeah, of course.
Yep, so right now, I'm taking all the gear that I got from Trillionaires only, and we're gonna give it out to some people that we see around here today. There's some people that's in my support circle that I'm really just gonna catch up with today, and I'm gonna give them some free merch. I got my nephew right here, Alex.
Hello.
Hey, tell them where they can find you, man. You don't act brand new.
Oh, Instagram, just Alexander.
That was good. See, zoom out a little bit.
Because I'm getting the stuff out the car first. How you doing, Grandma? I gotta get gear and stuff. How you doing? I got some merch for you. I'm good.
Oh, I'm gonna be wearing shirts.
Yeah, I got some for you. Yeah. I got some
I
for
saw
you.
you back on
Hey, Spirit.
wait. Like that. No. I see you back on you.
Yeah, I got gifts.
First, how you going?
I got gifts.
What? Hold on, y'all see my merch. Wait a minute. Hold on. Another great grandson. Hold on. There you go.
Yep. I just had a daughter
Oh, wait,
too.
your name ain't on because I already knew.
Same lady.
Because I didn't need to
You know, I ain't moving around like that.
Hey, I'm telling you, I am. All of y'all business.
It's all good.
It's not
Nobody
because it's
got a
hard
shirt like
trying
that.
to be
Nobody
compared
got a
to
shirt
two
like that. All this stuff
different
is the same.
places. You know what I'm saying? That's all I was.
It's like all my kids.
Because I'm a grandma, so
It's all good.
great grandma. I can't help it.
It's fine.
I'm a great grandmama. Some more.
Okay,
Some more time. One more time.
so did you do a drop here?
I ain't doing no drop here. I'm just getting rid of some old merchandise. That's all.
Don't be saying that out loud.
Cause I didn't need that to
You
be
know, I ain't moving
separated.
around like that.
Hey, I'm telling you, I got all of your business.
It's all good.
It's not
Because it's hard trying to be
Nobody
prepared
got
to
to
two
all this stuff is
different
the same.
places. You know what I'm saying? That's all I was.
It's like all my kids.
Because I'm a grandma, so
It's all good.
great grandmama.
I can't help it.
It's fine.
Damn, why your hands are so sick? So cute. What's up, little dude? Chance.
I don't know what's going on with Chance today.
What up, dude? Congratulations. Nice to see you. You look nice. Daddy time now. Daddy time now. Hey, how you feeling? You got people that supporting you in the other
and you see it fit. That's the airport. Like we just made passport covers and scarves too.
That's gonna sell too. That's gonna, in
We
the
got
airport,
black scarves and they silk.
right?
So look, I'm sweating.
Where do you go? See us going to jail. We should get tired of seeing that shit. We should get tired of seeing niggas locked up. It's time to live life. It's time to do positive things. It's time to make some money. It's time to live live life to the fullest. Do things that we ain't never thought of doing, ever. There's so much out here that we don't even just there's so much out here that we just kind of shut ourselves off to because of the way that we think. Like we got to get out of that box. We more than just hoop stars and quarterbacks and drug dealers and gangbangers, man. There's some boys out here that's really out here getting it. That's really out here officially with their business and about making money and standing on real man principles. That's what it's about. So here we got the baby shower for bro. It was a dope moment. Gotta move on to the next spot, man. I gotta catch up with Unc. I gotta drop him off some merch and then we gotta see the bros later. As we keep seeing these different people, these are people that I lean on during my cancer fight. These are people that check on me genuinely, day in and day out. They don't judge me. They accept me as I am. And that was huge during my cancer journey. So showing them appreciation, you know what I'm saying, just showing up for them and being here for them, that's how you get that time back. That's how you show them that appreciation. Because there's no dollar amount that you can give for time. You know what I'm saying? All you got is love, energy, and memories at the end of the day. And I want all of them to be positive. So that's what we on.
Get him, stay still. That's more important.
I'll get him this summer. I'm bringing him here this summer.
I see your little brother doing good. Following your footsteps.
Hey, man. What up, man? You look good. Hey. Okay. Well, actually, perfect. Oh. The cancer in my lungs is gone. The cancer in my liver is shrinking.
You got it, Donnie?
I'm beating cancer. I'm gonna win.
I ain't finna get teared up on your little thing. I'm proud of you. But you know what happened? When you got out of that negative mindset, that baby started loving on you the right way, your family come down there with you, you stop thinking negative about your situation, you flipped it on them. And that's rare. usually when you put yourself in that deep rut and you let that cancer take over, not over your mind, your soul, your body, because you feel that you're done, you're defeated because you don't know why it happened. You don't know where it came from.
Facts.
Because you've been military, living your life,
Yep.
buying stuff, living your dreams, and all of a sudden they tell you your life in the end. But then you was in a slump at first, because you was mad at everybody, you was mad at the world, and then all of a sudden you flipped it on them, and then you seen a different you. And once you decided you was gonna beat that, you was somebody that was a different you, because you doing this now. You even got your little grill on. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. But let me tell y'all something about nephew. I raised him through football. I was always that guy to try to keep them out of trouble and out the way, to get them up out of here. We had our own football team, and we destroyed everybody. But the awesome part about them as kids, don't get me wrong, they were knuckleheads as kids, but as fathers and men, it's something amazing. I would have never thought, with them being who they were as kids, 'cause I'm gonna give you an example. One day we come from football practice, and some little neighborhood kids, some little gang, I guess, rival, because I didn't know nothing about the streets. But they come over to go jump on our kids on the mill, and they whooped them. They whooped them. I don't know, you don't want to hear it on the story, but they whooped them boys so bad they whooped them out of their pants. But they didn't understand how strong the brotherhood with them were. No matter what beef they had, when it was come time for them to come together, they was something amazing. But that's my story. But it's a long road, boy.
It's a long road, huh?
Baby,
We made it.
regress. What about you being healthy now?
Man,
I
hey,
see
we
you.
made it. We finna live life, man. Auntie, come get this shirt.
Where my girl at?
She at her mom's house. They had, her brother got a baby shower.
Hey, little nephew.
Yeah, that's my nephew, man.
Yeah.
You're in here now.
Yeah.
I like the color.
I picked y'all.
I got me
because-
some shoes.
You do.
I need the ones to get on your feet.
I picked y'all because I know, like, from the start, even before the cancer, y'all were there. Like, even when I got into that big trouble with the Chainsaw Massacre, y'all was there.
But you see how that was. That was epic,
Yeah.
though. You don't get no better than that.
Threw it all the way out.
You ain't even had to go in. You out there smiling in the hallway. They mad in the mug at you. I'm not being funny because I don't condone none of that. But when folks are good people, and you're trying to be a father of your kids,
But it was live, though.
we can't
was
try to.
live.
When somebody's in the military and you know that's what feeds your family, that's any relationship. If you're not in a relationship and you understand that once you put somebody in that system and you mess up their career, it takes away from your kids. So you have to understand, when he come to me and he needed help doing what he needed to do, we sitting in the hallway. He never had to go into court,
At all.
and it looked crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you. When you go to court down there with me, we gonna make it happen. But he had to go in the courtroom. He's sitting in the hallway. He's smiling and joking. But the situation wasn't laughable. But once he seen what was going down, dismissed, and that's what we do. But I do that for him because I know his character, and I know he didn't do what he said because he said that he'd been honest with and transparent with us. But I'm glad everything worked out for you. But boy, you look good, boy.
Man, look, man.
I can't even throw my little, you know, back when they was young, I used to do my little thing on them, break them down.
Go!
But it still hurt.
Yeah, it still hurt, man. You got that old man strength now. Come on.
The stupid
Right,
strength.
that old man strength, man.
Boy, you look good though, boy. You going back in the military? Chelsea Camp. You know you my hero, Chelsea Camp. Let me tell you something. Your words are amazing. You remind me of my first lady. Your words are powerful. Your speech and the way you are as a young woman, and for you to take everything and just move away to take care of him, and now seeing him how he is, I want to tell you we love you, Chelsea Camp. We miss you. We miss you. I want to see you, but I'm glad that you come into his life. And with all the negative stuff going on and the stuff trying to break y'all down, I'm glad you chose to stand by his side like she chose me. Because I was broken too. I was broken out there in these streets. I was horrible. Sister wives out the world.
All right,
My baby loved me for where I was at. She loved me.
like, growing up around here, just running around, doing the stuff that I was doing with the people I was doing it with.
I remember you almost get that attempted charge on YouTube.
Yeah, man.
I can't say it on your little video.
No, I already talked about it. I talked about it earlier in the interview.
They had him throw the gun in the woods.
Yeah. Yeah.
That part I did not know.
Yeah. I was wild.
No, but he was the one that wanted to look out for everybody. He wanted to make sure
He just
everybody was
wanted to be a
okay.
part
He
and
wanted to be part.
cover.
He was the. I ain't gonna be funny about it because he had his hands and he did what he did because they always beefed with each other too. But he was always the one that wanted to make sure everybody was all right. So he was the fall guy.
Yeah, I was a fall guy.
And didn't even care.
Yeah.
Northwest or something who had the hardest dudes in y'all area. And I went on there and said, "You serious?"
Right.
Cut it
Man,
out.
they
Got to respect that black and
what?
gold.
The
The respect for
Kenwood.
who had the toughest
I
people.
was there the first year it opened.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't matter. How you carry on these relationships now will determine how you carry on the rest of your life. So like right now, y'all at an age where y'all are coming into your own identity, so y'all are starting to have your own ideas. Y'all are starting to see the truth for what it is. Y'all are starting to see shit as it really comes, and y'all not afraid to speak up against it. The only thing is, there's a program that's already in place. Y'all just gotta go with the program. It's not y'all turn to speak up yet. When y'all turn 18, that's when it's y'all turn to do whatever y'all want. Yeah, learned a lot of hard lessons in this fucking neighborhood.
At least we want to get a four-wheeler.
Man, I want a 4-wheeler too.
I'm trying to get a Raptor 700 RSE. Ooh, you know about the exact. That's what's up.
Big balls.
I saved up like 3,000 so far. So,
Grab a picture and hold it up. Well, either one of them you want to hold up.
This one. This is one I have at my house.
Oh, you got a copy of that?
Yeah, I got the canvas.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I have that one hanging up at my house. Me, my daddy, and my brother.
You know who that in the back there?
Yeah, that's Jeremiah.
No, it ain't. That's Jeremiah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, Jeremiah. Like,
yeah, that's Jeremiah. Yeah.
Jeremiah.
Yeah, that's Jeremiah.
Hey, Renee, Alex,
Yeah.
Michaela, Sydney,
Yeah.
and Kalia.
Yeah.
and Alex.
Yeah.
It's Alex on that picture.
Alex is right here. Alex is a baby. Right here.
I don't even remember that. I remember when the picture was taken, but I don't remember you in the picture.
Alex is at the
That was
beginning.
at Walmart, I believe. Well, wasn't it?
I'm not in competition with my homies, I'm whipping in competition in the rolling. I knew my opposition never knew me, they wouldn't be opposition if they know me.